Jesus, God, help me. You don't believe in me. Oh, that's right. Never mind. Okay, something that we I think we had on the show several months ago, but I want to pop it in here again. And somebody emailed this to me. I'm not sure where it comes from, but it's salient. It is appropriate to the situation that we're facing in this country politically. It is by no means an apologia for Barack Obama. Not at all. Some of Barack Obama's policies where concerned civil liberties and foreign relations are, if not worse than, certainly equally as corrupt and anti-democratic as Bush's. So this is, you have to keep this in the proper context. But this is directed, I should say, at you right-wingers. You people who think you're conservatives, but you're not. You are right-wingers. And you should be ashamed of yourselves. You really should. You should just be utterly ashamed of yourselves. But of course, that's an impossibility because you know why? God is on your side, right? Okay. So, this thing says since Obama's regime, all of a sudden, folks have gotten mad and want to take America back. Back to what? Back to where? After 8 years of the Bush-Cheney disaster, now you get mad? You didn't get mad when the Supreme Court stopped a legal recount and appointed a president. You didn't get mad when Cheney allowed energy company officials to dictate energy policy and push us to invade Iraq. You didn't get mad when the Bush crime family outed a CIA operative and almost cost her her life. And, of course, you didn't get the least bit mad when the USA Patriot Act got passed. Did you? You lumps of coal. You didn't get mad when we illegally invaded and occupied a country that posed no threat to us. You didn't get angry when we spent and are continuing to spend what will finally top out at around $2 trillion on that illegal invasion and occupation. You didn't get mad then. Not a peep from you right-wing bastards. Not a sound. You didn't get mad when Bush borrowed more money from foreign sources than the previous 42 presidents, that would be all of them, combined. Where were you then, you rat bastards? Huh? Didn't hear a peep from you. You didn't get angry when over $10 billion in cash just disappeared in Iraq. Remember that little story? You right-wingers don't remember it. You have the attention span of a 2-year-old. You didn't get mad when you found out we were torturing people. In fact, some of you sons of bitches celebrated it. You didn't get mad when Bush embraced trade and outsourcing policies that shipped 6 million American jobs out of the country. You didn't say a word, did you? You right-wing toadstools. You didn't get mad when it was discovered that the Bush crime family was illegally wiretapping Americans. All Americans. And not just wiretapping, but looking at everything. Where were you then, you punks? Oh, you didn't get mad when the Bush crime family just somehow couldn't seem to catch bin Laden, you know, the mass killer of, how do you folks put it, 3,000 Americans, which is not true, but facts never were that important to you right-wingers. You didn't get mad when George W. Bush rang up $10 trillion in combined budget and current account deficits. Not a sound. Where were you? Where were you, punks? Oh, that's right. The Tea Party hadn't all of a sudden popped out of the nearest dump heap. You didn't have the Tea Party to tell you this stuff, did you? You didn't get mad when you saw the horrible conditions at Walter Reed Army Hospital. What do you care? None of you right-wingers serve in the military anyway. You didn't get mad when the Bush crime family let a major U.S. city, New Orleans, drown. And you know why you didn't? Because, oh, look here, Maud. Look at all those Negroes. Ho, 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 ho. That'll teach those sons of bitches. That's just a cesspool of sin and corruption anyway. Their damn Mardi Gras parade. Puh. Huh? You didn't get mad when we gave people who had money more than they could spend, the filthy rich, over $1 trillion in tax breaks. Not a peep. Why? Because someday you're going to be a billionaire too, right? Right? Yeah, you're going to be a billionaire. Yes, you are. You're going to invent something, right? You didn't even finish high school, but you're going to invent something. Oh, yeah, you got this in your garage. Yeah, okay. You didn't get mad when the Bush crime family resulted in the worst 8 years of job creation in decades. Not a sound from you slugs. You didn't get mad when over 200,000 U.S. citizens over the course of 8 years died because they had no health insurance. Let them die! Isn't that what you all scream out? Let them die! No health insurance? I don't give a goddamn. Let them die. You didn't get mad when a deliberate lack of oversight and regulations from the Bush administration caused your fellow citizens to lose $12 trillion in investments in retirement and home values. You sons of bitches just sat back on your hindquarters and didn't say a word, did you? But you finally got mad. Yes, you did. You got very pissed off when a black man was elected president and decided in his way, as sloppy and inefficient as it was and is, the people in America deserve the right to see a doctor if they get sick. Yeah, you got real pissed off. All of a sudden, there's this young black man in the White House. What? Maud, it's the White House, not the Black House. What the hell's going on here? So those 8 years of lies and corruption and torture and job losses by the millions and stealing your tax dollars to make the rich richer and the worst economic disaster since 1929 are okay with you. But a black man in the White House? What? Oh, hell no. So now you're mad. You know, you people, you right-wingers define yourself 24/7. You are constantly defining the lack of courage, moral character, integrity, decency, self-respect, respect for your fellow humans every time you open your mouths. Every time you gather in a clustery, messy group to cheer and rant about some freak like Santorum or some moron like Palin. You just continue to reveal yourselves, don't you? On and on and on and on. Let me tell you something, you right-wing trolls. The rest of us understand you and know who you are. And you make normal people sick. All right, let's get to the nitty-gritty here. I have a steady listener who's been extremely loyal to this program over the years from Florida. It's Diana in Florida. This is what she writes. I'm a retired zoologist paleontologist. I've spent my entire life contemplating the nature of life. The recent political uproar over contraception and abortion, a debate I've listened to off and on for over 50 years, prompts me to speak up and share my thoughts with you. Often when a debate can't settle a matter, it's because the wrong question is being asked. And that is the case here, at least with regard to part of the debate. The question is not when life begins, it's when personhood begins. Life comes from life. Sperm are alive. eggs are alive. The zygote can only be formed from a sperm and an egg that are already alive. Life is not created at conception. It is passed on at conception. We are all part of the continuum of living creatures passing on life that began some 3 billion years ago and has continued without a break to become literally embodied in you. So biologically, it's nonsense to speak of when life begins. It was already there. When a human female infant is born, the eggs in her ovaries that will mature in adulthood are already there, alive and ready to pass life on yet again. So what are we talking about here? We are talking about legal personhood. Spiritual or religious definitions of personhood are not the provenance of the government, either at the beginning or ending of life. The government is limited to a practical definition of life that recognizes independent viability at the beginning of life and the degree of intellectual awareness at the end of life. Government is unable to determine, and has no business attempting to determine, when or if someone acquires a soul. So please, let's drop the red herring debate over when life begins. Instead, let's accept, first, that we are each free to define spiritual personhood for ourselves, but not others, and focus on what defines legal personhood. Not that legal personhood is a simple question, but that we need to not complicate the matter with the debate over when life begins. All the cells involved in the process are both alive and human at all stages. There is no more biological reason to treat the zygote as a legal person than it is to grant personhood to spilled sperm. Sperm, eggs, zygote, embryo, and fetus are all living human cells at all stages in the development of a new person. The most biologically significant event in the development of a new person is birth. When the infant ceases to receive blood flow from its mother, leaves the womb, and takes its first breath. And the independent life of the new person begins. Diana in Florida. You know, I'm sitting here after I got this from Diana this morning. I'm sitting here reading this morning. I'm thinking, damn. Why didn't it ever occur to me that simple a mathematical progression, which to me is what she's got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, step by step. This is how it works. Instead of that, I, like most people in this country, have been so sidetracked by this ridiculous, half-assed screaming about when life begins. Implantation, no. Fertilization, no. Something else. And it just never occurred to me. It's all alive. So what we're talking about, as Diana points out, is personhood. I think I've mentioned it before, just obliquely and never really understanding what I was saying. It's when the fetus ceases to be a parasite and becomes an individual breathing, all of a sudden, breathing person. Isn't it true sometimes that the most simple truths are the ones that we so easily overlook? But as Diana said at the beginning of this, often when a debate can't settle a matter, it's because the wrong question is being asked. Thank you very much, Diana in Florida. A victory of sorts. No, it's a clear victory for us, secularists. And this one is from Rhode Island. Remember I told you the story? Cranston West High School. There was a banner there, a prayer banner that had been there since God was a teenager or something, and Jessica Alhquist, a student there, decided, hey, wait a minute, don't think so. And so she has to have it taken down, and, got the ACLU to back her in Cranston, Rhode Island. Next thing you know, she's getting death threats, and all the good Christians are coming out of the sewer with their pitchforks and burning torches, trying to find a stake to tie this young woman to and burn her, because obviously she's a witch. Well, guess what? A public school district committee voted not to appeal a federal court decision ordering the removal of the prayer banner displayed at Cranston West High School auditorium. The vote came actually a couple of nights ago after hours of heated debate and months of controversy. The Cranston School Committee voted 5-2 not to appeal U.S. District Court Judge Ronald Legault's order to remove the prayer banner. Just take it down! The high school student behind the battle to remove this unconstitutional piece of religious dogma has been, Jessica Alhquist has been the public face behind this. She's a student at Cranston, faced prejudice, adversity, religious intolerance from Christian extremists. And the prayer banner episode, according to what I have here, brought out the worst in many residents of Cranston and what some found to be an open display of religious bigotry. Remember, Rhode Island State Representative Peter Palumbo referred to Jessica Alhquist as an evil little thing. You're just an evil, dirty little thing, aren't you? Huh? With your dirty pillows on your chest and God knows what you've got below your belt. You're just an evil little thing, aren't you? You little... Jesus doesn't like you now. In addition to calling Alhquist an evil little thing, Palumbo also made the claim that she's being coerced by evil people. Atheists and other secular Americans. Evil, evil. Why don't you wear a looser sweater so your dirty pillows don't show so much? Ooh, you evil little thing. If I had my way, I'd take you to my office and discipline you. The hostility and threats directed toward this young woman were so intense that at times the 16-year-old required a police escort. In addition, 4 different florists in the Cranston area refused to deliver flowers to Jessica. At least one florist claimed to be frightened of the potential backlash from Christians who didn't want young Jessica to receive any flowers. You evil little thing. You are evil. You're just an evil female. I bet you work for Planned Parenthood. I bet you're a Girl Scout. You evil thing.